Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the Knossos Campaign. Last time, we reinvested the riches we accrued during our Wars of Conquest here on the island of Crete, which we now nearly completely control. All that remains is to get Lissos colonized, which requires waiting for Eliros's colonization progress to complete, which should actually be on paper, it'll be in a little over a month. It's probably going to actually require the start of August for us to click this because of how month timing scales for territory modifiers. It's a little bit weird, but either way, we will be in the negatives for PI by doing this, but we will get Minoa fully, Minoa's us, but we will get Crete fully under our control. Speaking of control, we are actually most of the way through constructing for this stage of the campaign, a great war fleet made up of the heaviest ships available, the Pentaconteres. These guys, and I believe we were building how many? Let's see, this is 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think we have 10 that were under construction, presumably for the 10 units in our levy. We won't be able to raise it for another 5 months. That's fine. As I said last episode, our planned attack on Thera will happen after the start of 805. We'll skip the War Council for that 5-year period and do it again in the subsequent 5-year period of 810, January 1st, 810, by which point we will control at least Thera and possibly more. I don't know for sure if we'll have more than just Thera, but at least Thera. And this will allow us to be considered to have territory in the Cyclades region, thus allowing for the War Council to target other places in the Cyclades region, and hopefully getting us the Matter of Cyclades mission. As at the moment, we are working on developing Knossos. Apparently, we have 0 of 3 with no free building slots now. How did this exactly happen? That's just wrong. Province of Knossos. Minoa owns 3 more cities with no free building slots, 0 of 3. Well, hold on. 4 of 4, that's no free slots. 1 of 2. 2 of 2. Maybe this is just a weird interface glitch, and actually it will say 3 of 3 once Nirukani is fully built up. Who knows what's going on? Either way, we're in no enormous rush here. I've been committing my money to the fleet construction, though they're all queued up now, so I can spend some money here. When Nirukani can get something built, what do I want to actually build here? Let's see, a foundry would get me more cloth. Can't build a palace, in fact, for quite a while. I think either can't do a tolling station either. I think a training camp would probably be the smartest option. Do I have training camps elsewhere? I do not. No. Okay. Yeah, it's probably the best option. This place does not have a port slot, so I can't build a port here. Yeah, I think that's probably what I will end up doing. But yeah. Is my music on? I think it may not have been on. Let's turn the music on. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and proceed at this point. And yeah, I am planning with 805 and the start of that year to do a quick review of my government. We've had many of these officers for a number of years now, and their statesmanship is really good, so I don't want to necessarily just replace them, but it might be good to start building some statesmanship on some new, younger characters who will serve while my king, Amintor, kind of enters middle age here, as he is about to. So, with our ships being finished, we should actually have by far the strongest navy on the map, which is, of course, interesting, but we won't have a lot to use it for. Speaking of Amintor, the self-confidence that Amintor the First Troizeth displays is a veritable inspiration to all who know him. His singular clarity of purpose outweighs any who dare to question his intent. Gained Righteous. That's pretty good. Minus 10 corruption flat. AE decay plus 0.20%. That's pretty good. He will never accept a bribe. That's fine. Yeah, we're going to have to reset influence stakeholders, and I should not forget to do that, as I always seem to forget. Now, while Thera is our first target, and we do have the claim ready to go now, though the army is not ready, so there's no reason to do the attack right this second. You know, actually, it is August now. I should probably go ahead and do this. I didn't really lose anything because it's a monthly tick. All right, 20 less PI, but now Manoa is genuinely fully controlled, except for this island. Now, someone actually did comment from the previous video, and they pointed out that it is something you are able to actually colonize islands like this, and it seems to be through the, I don't remember the exact term for it, but it's part of the Civ Advanced system. Let's see if I can figure out. Maybe it's foreign trading colonies was the one. There's a way in which you can establish colonies in this manner that is in the game. And so because I've been told that, for now I won't implement any sort of way to colonize this. Otherwise, it doesn't really cause any problems that's not colonized. We're not missing out on anything by having this province be technically not completely under my control. It's fine at this time. Okay. This is 154. Okay. I have to just wait for that. Do I want to go to war as soon as the fleet is done? I think I probably... I'll just leave my... Yeah, I'll leave my army pay where it is. I kind of want to get over here before Knossos gets this, although I wouldn't mind fighting Knossos. I can probably beat them one-on-one, especially with naval support. They have no fleet at all. But it would be nice to get rid of Thera and then get a claim on Knossos instead, so I can decide when to pull the trigger on that, although that would require waiting an additional 5 years. So I think it's just good to get Thera out of the way, and then we'll kind of see what we are looking at after that. Also, the Knossos Navy is complete. It doesn't have the full 30 width, but this is fine for now. We do have the economy to support a large navy. At the moment, with decreased pay, our naval expenses are not that bad. Essentially, by trading out all of my fort maintenance for a larger navy earlier, we're actually doing economically just fine. On normal maintenance, though, we will have a bit more cost, to be sure. Definitely need to be a little bit careful about that. Of course, we will go to normal maintenance before we do anything with the navy. And speaking of which, I guess the question would be, do I plan to attack Thera basically once the navy is full morale and my army's full morale? I think I probably should. They're currently diplomatically isolated, and avoiding entanglement with some hard-to-reach nation would be ideal here. I think this is a good opportunity to attack. I mean, look at the situation here. You've got Naxos, who's been pushed over to the island what's the name of this island? I don't remember the name of this island, but this island over here, which is where the territory of Manoa is located, they've been pushed off of Naxos, which has been conquered by Knossos. Knossos is the big conqueror in the Cyclades at the moment, currently fighting Seraphos, and they're probably going to beat them as well. Okay, so we're entering into kind of an interesting situation. This is fine by me. This means less, political nonsense trying to get all the claims organized. If I can just fight one larger enemy who has conquered everything else, that's fine by me. AE is AE, no matter who it's coming from. But I may have to spend more PI otherwise. This may also make a matter of Cyclades mission more simple. Let me think about the timeline for a sec. So I think the order of events here is now that my fleet is finished, I should first get an admiral for this fleet. I could just assign someone whenever I'm about to go to war, but it may make some sense to have this be a position I actually... Ooh, okay. Memblioros Tercinenthos is 18 years old. 11-10-4-7. Can this guy be my king? Look at this absolute Chad. Look at that face. Damn. Alright, well, I think... Can we have voluntary regime change over to this guy? 11-10 is the kind of martial finesse stat spread I dream about and smile about in my sleep. So this guy would obviously be... He's even an original thinker. This doesn't have any effect as an admiral, but, that's fine. The admiral traits are a little bit rare. Are my ships hexaremes? They're pentaconteres, so no, this wouldn't actually have an effect. Although, hold on, that's not true. I think these are considered hexaremes. Is Pentacontaris the Greek word and Hexarum is the Latin word? I think it might be that. This is a common thing in mods where they forget to change the localization of the modifiers. In Hegemony, I did not forget about that, but a lot of mods who change the names of the units forget to change the names of the modifiers. So I think this would have an effect, but she's only 8 martial, whereas this guy here has got 11 martial. I think that makes all the difference, honestly. I think this guy's a really interesting character to bring in as an admiral. I mean, he's literally basically the youngest he could possibly be with stats like this. No corruption problems. What are your traits? Perfect health. Sarcastic. Okay. Energetic. All right, that's pretty good. An original thinker. Okay, well, this guy's quite an interesting, roguish young lad. I think I will make him the admiral. Membliaros, welcome to the government. 67... 6-7 loyalty there. Alright, let's go and turn fleet maintenance on. Yeah, it is a bit more expensive, but I'm paying for quality here. No one's got a fleet on the map like me. In fact, I can prove it. Let's take a look at the ship number. Okay, Samaria has a 7-ship fleet. Henanessa has 5 already. I thought they had like 0 last episode. Bruh. Alright, well this is not a... they went for thalassocracy too? Oh, Jesus. Alright, well... This is a little bit unnerving. Henanessa absolutely has the economic power to build a larger fleet than me. And much like in real life, naval planning is mostly an economic matter, as the strength of your navy is mostly about economic strength more than like the quality of your, admirals and whatnot. That makes a difference, but largely it's a numbers game, even more than the land warfare. And then I guess, who was it? Samaria, right? It's kind of odd. Either way, I'd be surprised if either of them have a fleet entirely composed of Pentacontares. I probably have the strongest fleet in the world, honestly, so we're going to go ahead and let everyone's morale build up. And I guess I can also raise my levy. Well, not quite. In 11 days I can. And prepare them. And yeah, then Thera will be attacked. We need to get in there before they, ally with Tenos or do something else that may... I mean, it may not slow me down, but it may change my planning a little bit. Okay, let's proceed. Also make sure I don't have anyone in my dungeons. I don't. The faith of Pero. Never has a more devout woman existed than Pero Kadmali. Our people clamor at the very door of the temple, demanding that we declare a feast in her honor. How should we answer them? Absolutely, I'll trade 18 gold for 6 stability. I've been really lucky this campaign with stability events. Would love to get some PI events to make me feel even luckier, but I'll take what I can get, I suppose. What's the Merc's number? 12, okay. Yeah, the Merc army I think will scale as the tile size changes, like the population size. I think that's what it's based off of. I honestly kind of don't remember what it's based off of. We're down to... Oh yeah, no, we're still 10. Let's bring the levy up now and get them preparing. Alright, this is fine. Now, something I could do is possibly switch my... possibly switch this around a little bit. I don't really want to lose either Sanction Privileges or Tolerance of Pagans, but I could maybe see an argument for switching Morale of Armies to Thalassocracy if I'm expecting a lot of naval combat, which I'm not, admittedly, in this scenario, but definitely something to keep in mind. We can do that. Hauled in front of the court, Salkantha, one of my researchers, is a sorry sight, caught with the wicked pike in hand. She is said to have been ready to strike down Gnaeus Kadmali, my tutor, in a brutal act of violence. Luckily, by the way, murder tip, I probably wouldn't use a pike as a murder weapon. There's probably a few better options than that. Luckily, passers-by were quick enough to act and prevent this terrible deed. We now have the unenviable task of passing judgment. I don't really want to deal with this right now. Who knows if this even happened or not. It's fine. She gets some opinion. Actually, this is fine, although as a researcher, her loyalty matters less than my tutor's loyalty. But everyone's pretty loyal, so it's not that big of a deal. We'll just let it slide this time. I should also keep track, by the way, of the barb power situation. What are we looking at right now? 2.86% per month, something kind of similar over here. Yeah, in this spot here. Need to be a little careful about that. We'll see, as we've seen before, that can cause problems if we have the army leave. I guess I can hire mercs as an absolute last resort. Would not like to do that, though, normally. Okay, we have reached January 1st, 805. My king is 39. Let's put him back onto scheme influence immediately. Okay, good. And then, meanwhile, as for the omen, we could just go for Hera again to keep our stab change as high as possible. We could also go for Athene for the manpower recovery speed. It's not a terrible idea. We do have a lot of manpower maximum. I think we don't need manpower urgently bad right now, though. I think let's just go for Hera. This is a really strong option, and we do have the temple in Knossos set up, so let's go ahead and just worship her. Tessa, did I even read this before? I must have. Alright, so Hera has been invoked. By the way, where's our other treasure located right now? The Horn of Plenty's in Phaistos. I actually would like this in Knossos. This is really awkward. I'd have to build a shrine in Phaistos and then remove it from the shrine and then get rid of the shrine. Alright, let me figure out. I'm trying to remember where Phaistos even is. I think it's over here. Here, it's right here. Okay. I mean, I could just build a shrine in Phaistos with the intent of Phaistos remaining the capital. Arguably, Dawa is the better city spot because it is also farmland on the river. I talked about this a long time ago when I took over this territory. I think it's fine for now. We'll just leave it. Okay. Anything else I want to do right now? I do have the War Council available again, but I don't have any neighbors, so I literally can't do it, so it doesn't even matter. I think we're looking fine. Any reason to declare the war? Declaring the war on Thera would have no consequence for me doing it early, because they have no navy. And it would make it less likely that they'd enter an alliance with someone. It might also dissuade Tenos from declaring on them, although Tenos doesn't border them. Technically, Eos still survives over here, and they're in the way. I mean, Tenos could still declare on them through the sea tiles. It's not really a predicament. Yeah, the Cyclades is kind of a political mess right now with the rise of Tenos. Everyone's been kind of pushed away to the outer islands. But we're going to come in from the south and push everyone in northward as we advance. The great Cretan army will make short work of these islanders. We'll show them who the real Minoans are. The ones bearing the banner with the bull. That's us. I think we should continue... Well, hold on. I can probably just recover my morale while sieging Akrotiri. I don't think there's any reason, actually, to... Oh, they're also building a level 2 fort right now. We should actually declare the war and go in for the attack right now. I don't want them to finish building the level 2 fort. I think if they're under siege... Can they build something while they're under siege? I don't think they can. I know when something is occupied, you can't build something, and building construction is paused. I have to assume being put under siege also pauses construction. A level 2 fort is actually a bit of a dangerous obstacle for me, so I'm glad I looked at this. I think we should declare on Thera and actually invade them right now. I don't think we should wait. Them building the second level of fort has kind of forced my hand here. Let's go ahead and declare the war. Well, hold on. I could declare the war with my army just off the coast. I don't think it actually makes a big difference. But, sure. Well, it could make a difference where they might hire a pirate fleet, which could potentially cause problems. Now, the Merc fleet here, if it left my port, isn't necessarily going to have great luck against my navy, but only when my navy is at full morale, which it currently is not. So I think the best thing to do right now is actually to get onto my ships, and we'll have Membliaros sail over to the port of Akrotiri and prepare for a landing, which we will then launch shortly. And then the last question is, should I actually change out my governors, or I mean my officers? I don't know if that's necessary, actually. I think I'll just let them continue to be really qualified. I think, given the timeline, I'm expecting my king to live and reign for probably around another 20 years, which means with some of our older officers, we may be seeing some deaths, but then we'll have their successors have time to build up statesmanship, it would be nice for my son to come in to a fairly qualified cabinet to support him. So I think for now, the current situation is fine. I could go ahead and replace some of the older characters anyways, but many of these older characters are still probably the most qualified characters anyways, unless there's like a really, really qualified younger character, but this is a pretty strong cabinet all around. I could replace Salacantha, actually. That's not a bad idea. We have a Budea here who's pretty young, 17. 91061, okay. See, I kind of wish I had married my son to her. She'd be pretty good, but oh well. I might still marry her to one of my other sons. It's not out of the question. I think I will replace her just because she is technically better, and I'll be able to build up some statesmanship. She's a higher statesmanship, finesse, and zeal character too. If I need to replace one of my zeal characters, I can. I think this is fine. What's the Ticera? So this would also make them grateful, which I think is good, now that my admiral is also of their family too, if I remember that correctly. Am I right about that? Yeah, Tissarenthos, that is that family. All right, I think this is one change that makes some sense to go for right now. Also, she'll have more health impact as my king gets older, which is great, as opposed to being at 10 of 10 for a long period where it may not be as necessary. I think everyone else is probably fine. Some of these could definitely be a little bit better. Perhaps my Chancellor could be changed. Although the Phoniknas are only at 2 of 2. We have Gello, who is her contemporary, nearly the same age, a little tiny bit younger. 9 charisma versus 7 charisma is a substantial difference. We have to build up the statesmanship for it. She is arrogant too, which may be an issue. What about you? You're ambitious though. It's not a huge change, but I think this is a solid moment to make a change like this. Our AE is pretty low. It's about to get higher, but it is pretty low right now. Let's go ahead and switch you out as well. I think everything else looks fine for now. Yeah. You also, I may want to bring someone else in, but I would need to bring in a Kadmale character. I don't really have someone much better than you, so I think this is fine. Okay. Now, because I do have the anti-corruption idea going, there is also an argument for using some free hands to squeeze more loyalty and therefore more PI out of these officers. I think this is actually worth considering if I'm planning to switch out people. I think what I should... Oh, you're 34 corruption? Oh my god, I did not... wow, okay, I did not notice that. Until I get the anti-corruption idea, or the civic, I mean... where is it? Selective immunity. It's really far away at the moment. Maybe I should replace this guy. Is there another Troizeth who is not terrible? Not really. He's really good, he's just really corrupt. I could sanction him, and then I could give... I actually already has free hands. Oh my god. Okay, this is a bit dubious. How much am I paying you right now? Probably quite a bit. It's not that bad. The court philosopher is being paid a lot. Not sure why. Anyways, yeah, this is probably fine for now. Let's see. I think some of the older characters, and honestly, even in this guy's, he already has free hands, I guess, but I think I will give free hands to some of the older characters who I plan to, because let me take a look here. Oh, you are guileless. Okay. I'm willing to give you free hands. She's going to increase at only 0.05 per month, which I consider pretty manageable. Let's maximize things. Gela would get to over 100, so it's not worth it in her case. What's your corruption situation? You're honest? Will you even take free hands? You actually will. I'll do it. Then Kekropes, Tirsinthos. 53. Yeah, you have no corruption at the moment. Then Leto as well. She's been getting me a lot of good events. Okay, I think this is good. PI is maximized. Let's proceed. I'm also going to put my Admiral as an interesting character so I can keep track of him. Oh, you're getting paid more because you're my wife. That's right. You have all these problems as well. That's fine. What are you doing? Claiming a holding. Okay, well, I guess that's okay. Scholar of the... speaking of PI events, Scholar of the Divine, Gnaeus Kadmale has by all accounts remained a Scholar of the Divine man for much of his life. This is my royal tutor. It caused some embarrassment, therefore, when he was discovered extorting a local temple to an egregiously unreasonable degree. Before reprimanding Gnaeus, it must be said it would be expeditious to our efforts to influence him if we were to brush this under the table. So I could get 10 corruption, which I would lose at a rate of minus 0.05, and I think it might be reduced by 10 because I'm righteous. I'm not 100% sure how that would work. Of all the characters to go for this on, this would be a solid moment for that, or I could just lose 5 loyalty with Gnaeus. Corruption on the ruler is pretty rough, but I might actually get away with this because I have righteous. I'm not 100% sure how this works. Corruption minus 10. I guess I'll give this a try. Okay, it was reduced, but there's a base of 1.5. One corruption as it rounds here is completely fine. So that was a good call, and now we have some PI in the bank. Great. All right, January 20th. Let's go ahead and declare the war now. He's also building a fleet right now. Too little, too late. Let's declare the war to take South Cyclades. All right, we already have a bit of war score because we're blockading him. That's funny. In we go, led by the king himself. All right. So we'll just have to kind of hope he doesn't hire any pirate ships because our morale will need a couple of months to fully build up. At 2.76, our morale will still be below most of the other navies because of very hard difficulty. But this is a really strong fleet when it's at full morale, though at the moment it's a little bit vulnerable. Nonetheless, again, it would have been better to wait, but he's building a second fortress. Can't do anything about that. Just gotta try to stop him before he can get away with that. All right. Okay, good. The fortress is being delayed. Every day it's adding one more day. So I will prevent the second fortress layer from being built. And we do have the blockade thing in effect from our navy. That's perfect. Now, in terms of the composition here, we should not be on a frontal assault. Probably naval envelopment would be the best one here. And let's see. I think generally ramming tactics would probably be wise, as ultimately these ships have such a big advantage over other ship types. Yeah, let's play aggressive here. Membliaros is going to have an aggressive style. In good hands. The ongoing war has taken up most of the attention of King Amintor as he leads our armies to inevitable victory. While Manoa does have bureaucratic momentum, there are many issues that await the capable hands of the legitimate monarch. In the absence of the king, Consort Caranea has taken on some of his responsibilities and is doing her best to address the most pressing concerns. Commendable. Alright, so she'll attempt to assist. We'll see how she does. She is very good at certain things and very bad at other things, so we'll see how that goes. Also, I should perhaps take the opportunity while, who was it? It was you. Did you get married already? Oh, jeez, you got married to my marshal. How long have you been married to this guy? Maybe she was married before and I just missed it. Yeah, the AI is absolutely ruthless. The literal second any daughter comes of age and can be married, they instantly get a marriage set up. So you have to watch it like a hawk if you're trying to marry someone in the court. As we saw last episode with my son, who we did manage to get a solid marriage to, but it took a bit of time to sort that out. Religious observances. Consort Caranea is a pious woman with a great interest in religious matters, and naturally her first priority was a proposal designed to assuage the vocal priesthood's entreaties to address the worrying hepatoscopies and auguries their diviners have uncovered. See, sometimes I feel like some of these events are really only like sensible in the way they're framed for the Rome like AI. Like, this is a very Roman situation. Like, these sorts of rituals are Roman rituals. But there's no reason to think that, like, Bronze Age Knossos would be doing any of this stuff. Anyways, that's true for a lot of the stuff in the game. They claim that all the gods are displeased with the king and the situation in which he's left Manoa, Without his guidance, the gods themselves must be relied on to safeguard the country. The lords of the heavens demand that their word be adhered to, lest they bring calamity down on our heads. So I could give popularity to my wife. We get a strengthened priesthood for 10 years. Omen power 10%. I mean, state religion happiness 25 or 20% is really, really good. Omen power means more stab change, so that's pretty good. We pay 22 gold, and I get 5 loyalty with power. This is a really strong option, and I don't know why I'd ever go for this instead. Priesthood ignored is not great, and then this would also make my wife stop trying to help, and this is a good event, so we'll go ahead and get the free thing there. Also, I should double check here. Do I still have... I do have Colonial Ventures. February 806, although I think I'm actually out of people to colonize. Shocking, I know. Yeah, everyone's been colonized already. All right, well, we're getting new people to colonize here shortly, so no worries. My empire grows. All right, PI is looking good. I should save the money for that building, but I keep having stuff that I spend it on. I do want to continue building up more ships. Having a 30-ship navy means that it has absolute width for the naval battles, as I'm still fairly sure it is 30 width in all of the tiles. I did double check the wiki, and it did reaffirm what I remembered, that naval combat is always 30 width, but I think that's just in the vanilla game. But I don't remember Bronze Age changing anything about that. That's a really obscure mechanic that most mods wouldn't change. Okay. Things are looking good. Economy is getting even better now. Very good. I can also, by the way, increase wages to offset the free hands, but I don't think that's necessary. We're okay at the moment. Score is also going crazy good. I don't know how we suddenly... We just gained hundreds in score in like the last 20 minutes. I don't know what I did to do that. We're apparently... Oh, you know what it is? It's the happiness from that religion, because everybody is a Aegean religion. So everyone is much happier than before, which makes a big difference. A lot of our people are not happy because they're conquered by me. So yeah, that would do it. I don't like that number getting higher and higher. All right, Troy wants my grain. Sure. It's like the head of Nesset's watching the campaign, and they're like, we need to build up a navy too. Crete is sailing around. Wait a minute, I'm Crete. What? I guess Cretinia. Why don't you just go by the name Cretenia? Bronze Age does this a lot, where it has the English names for the tag, and then the more accurate name, well, more accurate anglicized name for the territory. But yeah, that's a little confusing because I am Crete. That is me. All right, I did see a pirate fleet sailing around down here with 15 ships, which surely is 15 like light ships, which my 10-ship navy with full morale and an 11 marshal admiral can probably beat, but not 100% guaranteed for sure. Again, a 30-ship navy is basically like guaranteed, unless there's like multiple pirate fleets coming in. That's a pretty unusual situation though. Most pirate fleets are not going to be much larger than like, 10, 15 ships anyways, but still, need to be careful. I don't think there's any reason to do an assault. Again, at this point, the timeline of what we're waiting for here is just to basically finish this before 8:10, which we certainly will. Meanwhile, are we able to build something yet? Not quite. Do I actually want training camps in my capital cities? Or my capital provinces, cities, I should say. The Freeman desired ratio is not something I really want. I could just build this for now as like a stopgap thing. It is cheaper. It's not very helpful though. Only provides some pop capacity. We have plenty of that at the moment. Let's see. Writing 2. What would I want to build here? Build a temple, a theater. Theater would actually be a solid option. I think I can build one once I have the money for it. I think I'd rather build a theater than build a training camp to keep the ratio as high as possible for my researcher types. Martial Advance. Okay, great. We also have our next Civ Tech points available. Phenomenal. Now, I think previously I got Defending Liberty. Yeah, must have been what I got. Okay, so I could go for some stuff over here. Let's see. We get the Sphere of Influence mechanic with proportional agreement. I've almost never gone over into these other trees, so I think I should talk about this a little bit. So basically, the Sphere of Influence mechanic, neighboring countries that are smaller than 12 territories that we've guaranteed have a chance to offer to become our subjects, and charismatic rulers make this more likely. This is a kind of interesting, non-violent way to expand. It's kind of a cool notion. Obviously, there's some pretty good stuff down here, too. Yeah, the Imperial Challenge War Goal. It's pretty important late game. That being said, we could also just go for Approved Familia, Patrocinium, and the other good stuff over here, or go for Selective Immunity, which is a really good way to help with my character management. I think getting census data right now is not a bad idea. Getting a larger population in Knossos, more pop capacity, and provincial investments, oratory provincial investments, which are probably the ones I would pay PI for, because that's the trade one. Let's go for census data. The practice of taking census is said to have first appeared in Middle Kingdom Egypt. On a wider scale, however, it became vital to the continued administration of the Roman Republic, providing valuable data about the ethnicity and details of the dwellers therein. We also got a free investment, which I will use in Knossos immediately on the business investment once more. Yep. Okay, now we almost have the money, not quite, for a regular building. We can do 2 more Civ Tech points. So I think Trade Missions is the one we go for now. I believe before we went for Bureaucracy 1, and I think we may have had Bureaucratic Scripts at the beginning as well. I don't think I would have picked this myself. So I think, because it's 1 point for the level 1. So this, we could do both points for Specialized Administration. The new government types are interesting, but we're way too early to really get the full value from this, so I don't think so. Research points 10%, and the Scribe School is a bit more of a strong option. I think this is an interesting idea that's very ambitious to focus this much on research, but I think for now, diplomatic range and more trading is more important at the moment. So let's consider all of our options then. So discounting writing advances in bureaucracy, we can spend on 2 of these. So we've got Palace in the capital and 100% dip range and 1 diplomatic reputation. Very strong option. I think I will probably go for this. Citizens desired in cities, which is good, and city building slots +1. Good, except for right now when I need my cities in Knossos to be full. Foreign trading colonies, which is the mechanic that I think lets me colonize that island. 100% more diplomatic range and +2 capital import routes. Very strong option. I'll probably go for trade missions and early palaces. The garrison building, which is a defensive building, and also fort defense, not relevant with no forts, and 5% morale of armies. That's the best argument for this one, although I think it's not as good as palatial developments or trade development. The new laws are only a couple of laws. Loyalty of characters +5 is fine, but not amazing. 5% national assistant happiness, that's pretty good. And then irrigation, farming settlements are cheaper, and this would be good to build before I build a lot of farming settlements, but I don't really need to build a lot super soon. Pop capacity 10% everywhere, but 5% less national manpower. I think the option that I will go for here is clear. Palatial developments 1 and trade developments 1. Alright, we have 2 new trade routes, and we should be able to reach a lot more people. I'm going to actually wait until the end of the month, so that hopefully things reset, and we are able to, and also, by the way, Knossos should now be more crowded. In fact, it is. Oh, we also need to build 1 more building here now. I should have thought about that. Oh well, it is what it is. We'll get the money soon. I could build another level of port. I don't need it for, like, shipbuilding, but it does make the territory better, and it makes it a better shipbuilding territory anyways. So that's definitely one option. It's also the cheapest option I could do. But there's other stuff I would want to build here too, and I won't necessarily have infinite building slots until later on. Or I won't even have it later on, but I won't have, all the building slots I want all the time. I have to be a little bit careful about that. Also, what's the situation with stability when it comes to our Divine Sacrifice? I think I want to save up and then do Divine Sacrifice. I know I am very high on stability, but I always want more stability. Gotta always plan ahead with that. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so we can reach some more things now, though not a lot more things. Let's reorganize our trade routes here in... I don't need to know about this. Reorganize our trade routes in the capital. Okay, so let's see here. So we have double saffron and double livestock. That's a good start. Can't get double fruit. We can get one copy of honey, but only one. From Mari? We can reach Mari? Okay, that's pretty good. What about stone? Where's stone? Can't get any stone at the moment. What about wood? We definitely need wood. We also would like to get some cedar. Let's definitely bring in some cedar from Natizwa. Alright, nice. Let's try to bring in as much cedar as possible all the time. As for regular wood, we actually can't bring in any wood at the moment. Interesting. We will need to attend to that, though, later. Let's bring in another copy of Earthenware. Let's try to trade with Hen and Nesset, or the other big powers. Let's trade with Mari as well. Trading with the larger powers is smart because they're likelier to conquer their neighbors, so the trade routes won't be as interrupted if I'm trading with them already. Trade in another copy of cloth. Sure, trade with Mari. Do I want more furs? I don't think so. The issue at the moment is the world's too fragmented and no one really has a lot of surpluses yet, but that'll change. This game, you have very blobby empires in the mid and late game, or this mod, I should say. Okay, let's see. Bricks is completely useless for me at the moment. I could bring in horses. It's kind of interesting. I don't think it makes a big difference. Let's see. I think I will bring in papyrus for the noble happiness. Trade this with Hen and Nesset. And then ivory for more noble happiness. It also would be good in case I want to build a wonder. Having ivory is a great resource for that. Could bring in olives. I want to get double olives when possible, so let me just get one copy of olives for now. And then, let's see. Let's bring in double fish for the Freeman happiness. Trade with, let's see here. Trade with Atdai and Troy. Sure. Who else? Or I should say, what else? I could bring in double grain. Do I need that? Not really, I don't think. I'll bring in the one copy of honey from Mari, just lock it down. And then I think just trading for value might be smart. I think I'll just trade for earthenware for the rest. I can always trade out some of these earthenware trades for other stuff that becomes available. I may just check in on that every so often. Okay. We also now have the money to do another construction project. Okay, let's do something in Knossos first, I think. So Knossos could also really benefit from a theater. And I think this makes some sense. A lot of slaves will be sent to Knossos, and while them assimilating isn't as big of a deal, it would be nice if they do assimilate while they're here, or they get some assimilation progress. Could also get a workshop. The slave ratio isn't great for Knossos, but this would give me another copy of Saffron. Saffron's pretty valuable, and I would like to sell my other copy that I currently have on the market. What's my ratio situation looking like right now? It's pretty solid, but I don't want to upset things here. I want to get as many of my researcher guys as possible here. And the freemen, they do still provide tax and manpower, so they're not... And again, like, they will also be able to promote, so getting slaves who promote up to freemen who then can promote to other stuff is good too. I don't think I need manpower, though, urgently. I think we're okay on that front. Granary for the food capacity is not that big of a deal, though the pop growth could be nice. The unrest here is nothing at all. I think the, oh, I could do the shipyard here too. Yeah, this is actually kind of a smart move. This is a good spot for a shipyard. Getting this before I build all my new ships would also be good as well. I think I will plan ahead and get the shipyard here as my 5th building. Okay, that's fine. Alright, supply shortage. There is a pretty large city, so I'm not surprised it's taken us a while. 11 population, it's not actually as big. The Bronze Age, like, Minoan building graphic always looks a bit more than it is, as it were. These very, very large buildings. I guess it is accurate to the historical buildings. Alright. Right, Defenders deserted. We might be able to get the colony going over here in time for the Colonial Ventures ending. That's pretty good. Defenders desert. Okay, this is now displaying correctly. That's good. We'll sell off the nobles from here to pay for the next building that we need to get. But also turning off our maintenance will do a lot to pay for it too, honestly. Another reason to finish this war. Alright, slow going, but we should get this taken pretty soon here. Maybe even on this tick. No, okay. But pretty soon though, all the same. A ruler is born. We have a son. This should pause the game when it pops up, please. A son named Atumniozua. Oh wait, no. That was a typo, because I was surprised by this. Atumnios. Sure. He's another son. We have an heir and many spares at this point. We have all boys. Look at this. Like the reverse Henry VIII. We have Aglapios. We've got oh yeah, we have Aglapios. Sorry, I had a brain failure moment. Aglapios is the primary heir. We have Asgalates, Atreus, Proteus, and now Atumnios. By the way, any eligible ladies for you? I should get this guy married as well. He is 17. Let's take a look at the options here. Let's sort by age. Wrong way. Okay, so she... I think I looked at her earlier for my main heir. She's an option. Lustful. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I think just getting the various families married in is probably smart. I don't really think there's too much strategy I can really do here. Let's just get him married to Eo Troizeth. I mean, all these characters are going to get married if I don't do it, you know, so I have to find someone. I could wait for a new character to come of age, but I think this is fine. We're not really expecting him to be king, so this is a fine match, I think. He gets himself a lustful 20-year-old. Sounds pretty good to me. Alright, a suitable match. While Asgalates has enjoyed life immensely as a man of leisure, he summoned an envoy this very morning to deliver a proposal of marriage to the fabulous young maiden Eo, hoping to produce heirs to further legitimize the Troizeth dynasty. The envoy reported that the young maiden Eo almost swooned after receiving the news. It may be that Galatus and Io are an ideal match. Sure, sounds fine. Alright, and then his younger brothers are at the moment too young. This guy's 11, so not yet marrying age, needless to say. Alright, very nice. And then you actually have a son as well, Oilius. Okay, I wasn't told about that, but good to know. Congratulations. Nice. Alright, the succession is secure. We have ourselves a grandson, who's actually just born very recently, only a couple of months ago. Oilius Troizeth, possibly a future king. We shall see. Alright, meanwhile. Come on. There we go, the sacking of Akrotiri. Alright, Amintor the First Troizeth led his men to glorious victory during the siege of Akrotiri. The enemy flee in disgrace, and all that is left is to decide on how to treat the residents within. Alright, so we're gonna... let's see here. These guys are right culture group, right religion. Let's just gently loot. This will probably remain the city on the island. Let the looting be gentle. Okay, so that should be that. And I think we just wait now for the control to be transferred. I don't think there's any reason for the army to stay raised. Well, let's see. I will still wait until 8:10 for my war council, but I might be able to shortly finish the mission and get mad. Or then I have to wait a year anyways. I think it's inevitable that we're going to have to lower and re-raise. Let's just go ahead. Actually, I don't even need to do this. Let's just lower the army. Well, not quite yet, but let's lower them once the war's done. Bring these guys back over to Knossos. Alright. We also finished the commercial venture. Great. Okay, anything new and exciting we can bring in here? Could get more earthenware. It's not too exciting. Can't really get anything too... Again, it's we can reach people with these resources, but everyone just doesn't have a surplus to sell off. That's the main problem right now. Could get extra cloth, that is fairly valuable. But then we could just go for earthenware, which is the same value. I think at the moment, let's just keep bringing in the earthenware, and that's fine. Earthenware is such a common city resource that a lot of people have extra copies if they've got multiple cities. Alright, I don't think I need to go over and get this. This is within the same province, so we should be fine. Right, there's their army. Let's see if this is enough. It is enough. Okay, that's what I thought. Alright, so Theron, South Cyclades to Minoa. This will get us our foothold in the islands. Long awaited, but fairly inevitable. These guys did not stand a chance. Let's go ahead and sue for peace. Alright, the Theron elite, into the prisons you go. They've accepted our peace offer. We have a new governor position, we'll deal with that in a moment. Alright, as for this territory here, what do we have here? A fishery. This is probably what I want here, so I think I will leave it for now. We have a fishery here, and this is a spice territory? Well, that's interesting. Are we fishing for spice? What is this exactly? This feels like a mistake. I don't know how this is a spice territory. Maybe there's some historical reason. Okay, well, -4 for surplus. We can get extra copies of spice. Alright, anyways, Akrotiri will probably remain... Well, it will probably remain a city. It is farmland, no river, but it is on a port location. That's a good enough reason for me. This maybe should be a port, actually. But anyways, let's give it a day. Okay. The fort, I think, can go. Even though we're now dealing with land that is or islands that are traversable by crossings, with my fleet built, I'm hedging my bets that I can control these straits, and I don't need the fort. I'm making my choice. Plus, this gives us more money, and you know what's going to give us even more money is doing some of this. Away you go. Time to make it rain. You can just go free. I'm feeling generous. You can go free as well. Or if you're not feeling that generous, you can go as well. Alright. Probably should have just sold them off, but it's fine. Okay, so Manoa expands northward. This day would come. And this is also a new region, of course. This is under the Cyclades region heading. The levy can stand down. Alright, we're looking at a 5-month period now. And we can now get a building under construction here. Good. I think over here, let's see. I think a theater is the best option here. Actually, you know, honestly, because... I mean, the pop capacity, is this for just the territory or for the whole province? I think it's just for the territory. With no pork slot, we're missing a lot of opportunity for the city to add more commercial stuff. We have to wait for the tolling station. We don't really have a lot going on here. I guess we'll just build a theater. It's fine. Okay. Okay, now who should be the governor of South Cyclades? This is a good question. Let's take a look at who we have as options right now. So we have Prosimnos, Phoenicna, 9 finesse. Now, because we're a kingdom, the governors will lead their levies, but that's fine. I don't really expect this region to have a large levy anytime soon. And even then, I can just use mercenaries to get the marshal that I need. So really, finesse is the main thing that I care about here, as usual. Okay, let's see here. So we have a lot of Phoenicna characters. I guess they would be good to get an additional character employed. Prominent, 10% province commerce. That's pretty good. Just, plus 0.01% monthly salary. This guy's really, really good. 20 years old as well. Let me take a look at him a bit more closely. He has a bunch of health problems, though. He has an infection, Mentagra, and dysentery. That's a shame, because he's a really good character otherwise. I can't afford to have him seek treatment. I may just wait and see if this guy recovers, but I think for now I need to pass over him. I could also poach one of my own characters, and I do have a couple of good ones, if I recall. I could make Pero the governor. 10 finesse, and she does already have free hands, so her loyalty is very, very guaranteed. She is selfish, but her loyalty is so high it shouldn't be a problem. But she's really good as the High Priest, although this 100% statesmanship would also make her better as a governor. She's one of my most trusted counselors, so I think making her a governor does make some sense. She's a Kodmali character. Let's think about this for a second. Kodmalis are grateful, so her loyalty is fairly secure. One of the biggest concerns when deciding to make an existing officer character a governor is if their loyalty will survive their increase in power ranking, although she'd be becoming the governor of a pretty unpowerful governorship at the moment, though it will grow in time. It could also make some sense to keep the governorship in the family and assign a character from my family to be the governor. I could make my son the governor. He's pretty bad at that, though. Both of my adult sons are not very well suited to being a governor. There's nothing I can really do about that. I could bring in someone else from my family, though. The Troyzeth family. I could make him the governor. He's really corrupt, though. You're not very good. You're not very good. Not very good. Not very good. You're okay. You're my heir. You're okay. You're okay. Yeah, no one here has any finesse. This guy has, like, the best finesse, I guess, but still. It's not looking great. What about a Phoenicna character? Melanthos Phoenicna could be a solid option. Having a higher marshal is also handy if I can bring him in as a levy leader. That is something to consider. 69 loyalty. What's your situation with traits? No issues from that. He likes that he's married into the family, of course. My wife is a Phoenicna, if I remember correctly. That's right. Okay, so that's pretty much a secure thing. Okay, let's take a look. Greedy, pop growth. Okay. Effect as ruler doesn't matter. Fort defense doesn't matter. Depressed, well, that's not good. Vengeful, doesn't matter. He may be a bit more of a dramatic character with these traits. But he is older. He doesn't have a lot of statesmanship, though. I think I'd actually rather reassign Pero, who is more trusted. She's younger, but has much more statesmanship because she's been an officer for many years. And I did have that other really good Zeal character that I noted earlier. Actually, this may not be that person, but I think I had somebody else I was thinking about. Oh yeah, Io, who I just married to my second son. I could bring her in. Though probably not as the High Priest. I'd probably actually switch Karanea to be the High Priest. I don't actually have... How did I remove you? You have a bunch of statesmanship. Did I have her? I must have replaced her as the as something. Oh, I think you were my previous physician, maybe? That would explain it, because you only have 8 finesse. I think this is the person I'm thinking about. I think I bring her back and I make her the High Priest. Let's do it. And then I'm going to give you free hands as well. And then, don't fear, Pero. I know you're a little annoyed about that. Did I even look at her traits? I think I did, didn't I? Let's see. Reckless doesn't matter. Unnoticeable. Profits to commerce minus 10% is not great. Ruler minus 5, okay. Civ change. Unnoticeable is not ideal. But is this enough? I mean, 10 finesse surely makes up for that, right? What's the effect of finesse on commerce? 5% from 4. Is it 1 point? Wait, hold on. How does this math work? Is it, wait, 1.25 per point? If we're assuming it's 1.25% per point, so 10 would be 12%? So it would override her trait, but not by like a lot. I mean, I've already fired her, so she is technically my best option. But then we also have you. Your health problems, though, are a little bit unnerving. I don't want to have a governor that I have to replace right away. Could bring in you, I guess. What was my issue with you, exactly? Maybe just you're not as good? Melanthos. You just didn't have a lot of statesmanship. But that's not necessarily the end of the universe. Loyalty is pretty good. Pop growth, fort defense doesn't matter. Maybe he heals from his depression. He is older, though. I think a younger character would be better. I'd still consider Pero to be on the younger side. Someone who doesn't have free hands already could also be good, though. Here's what I'd do. I think I want to invest in Prosimnos. I think I've learned the lesson from letting my son die of curable illnesses. I'm going to basically have a moment of character growth as the king, as Amintor. I'm going to bring Prosimnos in as the governor and actually invest some attention into trying to cure him of his health problems. He's only 20. I think this is a manageable situation. 80 loyalty as well upon becoming governor. That's pretty good. Encourage trade. It's not what I would maybe go for, but I guess this is fine. I'm just going to force you into doing cultural assimilation right away. Okay, so that is the governorship addressed there. Great. Now we just have to wait for the buildings to finish, and then we can complete our mission. We also can easily get another copy in, and then we'll be able to finish the mission, and hopefully get matter of South Cyclades. And in time for the 810 War Council as well. So I think we basically did that war pretty much perfectly. Okay. I could also marry him, but he's not... I don't have any, like, daughters to marry him to, so it doesn't really matter. I think it's fine. We'll just have to wait. Well, you know what? I should also do the... Let's see here. So here's the new culture that I've just arrived in. Minoan culture. Yeah. So Akrotiri gets the colony. I think this is definitely the best spot for it. It is a port facing south towards me. It's basically my gateway to the islands. Let's found a colony in Akrotiri. Right, Akrotiri, a Gnosan colony. Great. This will make Akrotiri even larger. Phenomenal. I think that is a good direction to go. Bitter feud. The court is bustling with sycophants, claimants, and pretenders. It is of little surprise, therefore, that two of the most ambitious claimants to the throne of Minoa have had themselves at odds. So Aglapios, my oldest living son and primary heir, and Asgalades, his younger brother, I believe. That's right. Bit of a brotherly feud here. I mean, them becoming rivals is not great. I really do not need internal family rivalry right now. I could force them to stop. I think that's probably... Or I could side with Aglapios, which is probably the right thing. This guy would become disloyal, but what's he going to do? He's 17, he doesn't really have a lot of support. Or does he? Hold on, let me check here. He has no support at all. Okay. He's considered, you know, a good option, but only because of his being the second living son. No one on Earth, even someone even supports Atreus over him. Who's this? Budea, this is my physician. What is she doing? She's like, and I'm voting for him, the 11-year-old. He's the heir. Literally, your 11-year-old little brother has more support than you. That's just insane. But this would also still make them rivals, which I don't really think is a good idea. Let's just order them to stop. Cut that out. We have to stand together. We can't let the house of the bull be divided, as it were. Are bulls, like, social? I guess they are, right? They're cows. They kind of live in groups. That's how we have to be. We have to be strong and remain in solidarity with one another for the greater good of the realm. That's what has to happen. But yeah, we are... things are looking good here. I could continue building ships. I'll wait for this to finish, actually, because this will make things cheaper for sure. Doesn't this reduce the cost as well? No, it just makes it faster, but that's still worth doing, and getting the experience as well. I might actually even just build all 20 of the remaining ships in Knossos. I could build them elsewhere, but I don't think it's necessary to. Getting the experience on those ships would be kind of neat, I think. Also, we can now do Divine Sacrifice. I will do that. We also picked up something else here, the Akrotiri frescoes in Minoa. Okay, nice. Looks good. We are still #1. Wait. Oh, oh my god. Oh wait, no, Wasset exists? How did this happen? Huh? That's kind of a surprise. Is Hennenesset not... I thought Hennenesset formed Wasset. I was about to lose my mind. They're not even on here. What? Really? I guess they have a really bad starting score divider. But still, this is kind of embarrassing. They were like #3 a second ago. Okay, well that gives me some reassurance. Let me double check. I need to check on this every so often. What's the naval situation like? They're the second biggest navy in the world. Okay, I don't like that at all. And they're on bellicose stance too. Not good. Not good. They're staying on mercantile, that's for sure. Just gotta wait for these buildings. Let's also check the trade situation. Cancel one of these things here. We could get double wine now. I think I will actually do that. It's a little bit less value, but I think I like the modifier. Legion maintenance cost also affects mercenaries. Also double freeman happiness locally is good too. Okay, that's a good trade-off. Oh, you know what I just remembered? Let's bring in a resource over here. Let's bring in earthenware over here. There we go. Totally forgot about that, but glad I remembered just in time. And this is going to be a good point to stop this episode. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time as we continue the new phase of the Knossos campaign as we expand into the islands of the Cyclades. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.